In the landscape of 2026, ketchup has become more than just a burger topper. It is a case study in the sugarcoating of the industrial food system. While we often view it as a vegetable-based condiment, a deep dive into the manufacturing standards of the world's most popular brands reveals a startling reality. Many jars are essentially tomato-flavored syrups, loaded with metabolic disruptors and hidden chemicals that turn a healthy antioxidant, lycopene, into a delivery system for sugar and salt. Please like the channel and subscribe for more amazing updates. As consumers move toward clean label transparency, the gap between traditional industrial ketchups and whole food alternatives has widened. To help you navigate your next grocery trip, we've analyzed the ingredient profiles, processing methods, and 2026 safety reports to identify 7 brands you should leave on the shelf and 2 that actually provide the nutrition your body deserves. 7 ketchup brands to avoid at all costs. 1. Heinz Classic, the HFCS heavyweight. Heinz is the global standard for ketchup, but its classic recipe is an industrial relic that prioritizes cheap sweeteners over health. In 2026, the primary concern remains its dual use of high fructose corn syrup, HFCS, and corn syrup. The sugar math. 1 tablespoon contains 4 grams of sugar. Since the average person uses 3 to 4 tablespoons per meal, you are consuming as much sugar as a small donut just in your dipping sauce. The health risk. HFCS is a major driver of insulin resistance and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. When a brand uses natural flavoring alongside these syrups, they are creating a hyperpalatable chemical profile designed to be addictive rather than nourishing. 2. Market Pantry, the sodium and filler bomb. Walmart and Target's value labels, like Market Pantry, often cut costs by diluting their tomato concentrate with water and vinegar, then correcting the consistency with modified food starch. The texture hack. Starch is used to mimic the thickness of real tomatoes without the actual vegetable count. Sodium levels. To mask the blandness of their low-grade tomatoes, these budget ketchups often contain over 190 milligrams of sodium per serving. For those watching their blood pressure, this value comes with a high physiological cost. 3. G. Hughes Sugar-Free, the artificial trap. Marketed as a guilt-free alternative for keto and diabetic diets, G. Hughes replaces sugar with sucralose, Splenda. The taste and texture. 2026 Consumer Reports have criticized this brand for a gelatinous texture and an off-putting orange hue that resembles buffalo sauce more than ketchup. The microbiome concern. Recent studies continue to suggest that sucralose can alter the gut microbiome and potentially trigger an insulin response even without real sugar. If you are seeking health, replacing one processed ingredient with a synthetic chemical is a lateral move at best. 4. Del Monte, the empty ketchup. Del Monte has faced scrutiny in recent independent laboratory tests for having significantly lower lycopene levels than its competitors. This suggests the use of underripe tomatoes or overprocessing that degrades the fruit's natural antioxidants. Furthermore, their heavy reliance on rehydrated tomato paste and distilled vinegar creates a highly acidic profile that can be a major trigger for those with acid reflux or GERD. 5. Hunt's Traditional, the invisible additive. While Hunt's 100% natural line is a better choice, their classic variety is still a source of concern. It often contains calcium chloride, a firming agent used to maintain the structure of industrially processed tomato bits. While deemed safe by the FDA, it is a marker of a product that has been reconstructed in a factory rather than being allowed to maintain its natural integrity. 6. Berman's, the vinegar veil. Available at Aldi, Berman's is frequently cited for its vinegar-forward taste. This is an industry trick, using high levels of cheap distilled vinegar and salt to compensate for a low percentage of actual tomato solids. It is essentially a flavored vinegar sauce that lacks the potassium and vitamins found in premium, tomato-dense ketchups. 7. Regional store brand, organic, the sugar paradox. Many organic store brands fall into the trap of using organic cane sugar. While it sounds healthier than corn syrup, the body processes it the same way. Many of these brands still pack 4 to 5 grams of sugar per tablespoon. If the label says organic, but the sugar count is identical to Heinz. You are simply paying more for organic metabolic damage. 2 ketchup brands that are actually natural. If you want the tang and sweetness of real ketchup without the chemical baggage, these 2 brands are the industry gold standards in 2026. 1. Primal Kitchen Organic Unsweetened. Primal Kitchen has revolutionized the condiment world by removing the sugar entirely. The ingredients. They use organic California-grown tomatoes and organic balsamic vinegar to provide a natural, rich sweetness and tang. The nutritional profile. With only 1 gram of total sugar naturally occurring from the tomatoes and 0 added sugars, it is completely keto, paleo, and Whole30 approved. It tastes like real, roasted tomatoes, the way ketchup was intended to be. 2. True Made Foods, the veggie innovator. True Made Foods uses a brilliant stealth health approach by sweetening their ketchup with a blend of carrots, apples, and butternut squash. The benefit: you get a serving of vegetables in your ketchup, and the sugar content is half compared to the leading brands. The experience. It maintains the classic American ketchup texture and flavor profile, making it the perfect transition brand for kids and families who are used to the sweeter industrial ketchups. The 2026 Condiment Audit. 3 things to check. The first 3 rule: tomatoes or tomato concentrate must be the first ingredient. If water or a sweetener is in the top 3, put it back. Avoid the gums. Real ketchup doesn't need xanthan or guar gum for thickness. It gets its body from the fiber in the tomatoes. Look for deep red. A high lycopene ketchup will be a deep, dark red. Bright, neon red ketchups are often the result of heavy processing or artificial coloring. By choosing brands that prioritize vegetable-based sweetness over laboratory syrups, you can enjoy your favorite condiment while supporting your long-term metabolic health. The 2026 shift, transparency, recalls, and the healthy rebranding. As we move through 2026, the ketchup industry is facing a massive identity crisis. New 2025 to 2026 FDA healthy labeling criteria have officially pushed most conventional ketchups out of the healthy category. Because these regulations now strictly limit added sugars and sodium, industrial giants are scrambling to reformulate their recipes. However, this shift has birthed a new problem: ultra-processing. To maintain the thick, pourable consistency consumers love while removing sugar and salt, brands like Heinz and Del Monte have increasingly turned to citrus fiber, potassium chloride, and malic acid. While these sounding like science additions help lower the calorie count, they push the product into the ultra-processed food (UPF) category. Recent 2025 research from the University of British Columbia has even suggested that the cellulose-based thickeners used in these light ketchups may play a more active role in our nutrition than once thought, potentially acting as a hidden source of sugar for gut bacteria. The plastic sachet ban and packaging safety. One of the most significant changes in 2026 is the European Union's ban on single-use ketchup sachets, effective August 2026. This regulation, aimed at reducing plastic waste, is forcing a global conversation about the safety of ketchup packaging. Traditional plastic squeeze bottles are being scrutinized for BPA and other bisphenol, which can leach into the acidic tomato sauce over time. New EU regulations corrected in February 2026 have tightened the rules on bisphenol in food contact materials. This means that if you are still buying ketchup in cheap, non-BPA-free plastic containers, you are potentially exposing yourself to endocrine disruptors. The gold standard in 2026 has returned to glass bottles, which not only preserve the flavor, but are chemically inert and prevent the oxidation of vital nutrients. Lycopene, the bioavailability paradox. A common defense of commercial ketchup is its lycopene content. It is a scientific fact that the heat used in processing tomatoes converts lycopene into a more bioavailable form, the cis isomer, compared to raw tomatoes. However, there is a catch. In 2026, nutritional studies emphasize that this benefit is neutralized if the lycopene is delivered alongside high-fructose corn syrup. The spike in blood sugar and subsequent insulin response can promote systemic inflammation, which works directly against the heart-healthy benefits of the lycopene. Furthermore, value ketchups often use tomato paste that has been stored for long periods, leading to lycopene degradation. If your ketchup looks orange or brownish rather than a deep, vibrant red, the antioxidants have likely oxidized, leaving you with all of the sugar and none of the protection. The 2026 Consumer Verdict. The ketchup audit of 2026 makes one thing clear. If a condiment has a shelf life of 3 years, it is probably not real food. The brands to avoid are those that treat ketchup as a shelf-stable chemical delivery system. The brands to embrace, like Primal Kitchen and True Made Foods, are those that view the tomato as the star of the show, not just a base for corn syrup. When you reach for a bottle today, you aren't just choosing a topping. You are making a choice about your metabolic health. By rejecting the big sugar brands and opting for glass-bottled, unsweetened, or veggie-sweetened alternatives, you are ensuring that your favorite condiment remains a health asset rather than a liability. Additionally, the trend of fermented condiments is gaining momentum as we move into the latter half of 2026. Forward-thinking brands are now experimenting with lacto-fermented tomato bases, which naturally preserve the sauce while providing beneficial probiotics for gut health. This traditional method eliminates the need for distilled vinegar and refined sugars, offering a complex, umami-rich flavor that industrial brands simply cannot replicate. By choosing fermented or small-batch ketchups, you are supporting a food system that values biological integrity over chemical shelf stability. Ultimately, the best ketchup is one that honors the tomato's natural profile, proving that real flavor doesn't require a laboratory. In 2026, many health-conscious consumers are also transitioning toward upcycled ketchups that utilize surplus produce from local farms to reduce food waste and environmental impact.